Today, when someone asks for your John Hancock, they mean exactly what you see here, a massive, unmistakable signature. But in the summer of 1776, putting your name on this document was a formal confession to high treason. If colonial forces failed to win the ensuing war, every man who placed his name on this page faced a hangman's noose. The man who signed first and largest understood those stakes. He was making a deliberate, high-stakes gamble with everything he owned. John Hancock grew up in a world of immense privilege. Adopted by his wealthy uncle, he received a Harvard education and moved comfortably among the colonial elite. When his uncle died, Hancock inherited a massive shipping and real estate empire. Adjusted for inflation, his net worth hovered in the hundreds of millions of dollars. His merchant vessels crossed the Atlantic filled with tea, wine, and silk. The British Empire's global trade network made him incredibly rich. Revolutions typically target the assets of the elite, yet the richest man in North America actively backed the movement destined to jeopardize the very empire he had inherited. The friction between Hancock and the Crown started with these official red stamps. The 1765 Stamp Act taxed the documents that held his shipping business together, turning government policy into a direct threat to his bottom line. In 1768, the conflict escalated from policy to personal targeting. British customs officials seized one of Hancock's merchant ships, the Liberty, accusing him of smuggling wine to dodge taxes. The seizure triggered massive riots through the streets of Boston. In response, British authorities doubled down, determined to make a public example out of the city's most prominent merchant. Hancock realized that his massive fortune offered no protection. All the money in the colonies couldn't stop a distant government from seizing his assets without granting him a vote in Parliament. To fight back, Hancock formed an unlikely alliance with Samuel Adams. Adams was completely broke, but he possessed the political mind necessary to organize a resistance. As we map out the flow of funds, you can see Hancock acting as the primary financial engine for the Patriot cause. His capital split outward, directly paying for the printing presses, secret meetings, and safe houses that kept the underground movement alive. Radical ideas require capital to become physical realities. Adams supplied the ideology, but the rebellion only gained traction because Hancock was willing to pay the bills. By April 1775, British General Thomas Gage reached his breaking point. He issued secret orders to march his troops to Lexington and arrest both Hancock and Adams. That night, Paul Revere galloped furiously through the dark. His primary tactical mission was to reach the local parsonage and save Hancock's life before the British soldiers arrived. Hancock and Adams escaped to town just hours before the first shots of the American Revolution rang out on Lexington Green. Surviving that arrest attempt cemented his leadership status. Weeks later, delegates unanimously elected him president of the Second Continental Congress, making him the presiding officer of an illegal, fledgling nation. That brings us back to the summer of 1776 and this bold ink. A popular legend claims he wrote his name so large so that King George could read it without his spectacles. There is no historical evidence he ever actually said that. As the rebellion's chief financier, signing with such prominence served a mechanical purpose. It was a public signal to the other delegates in the room. He was putting his life and his massive fortune completely on the line, daring them to do the same. Hancock survived the war to serve multiple terms as the governor of Massachusetts, working through severe physical pain and the early deaths of his children. Today, his name is casually thrown around whenever someone needs a signature on a standard receipt. The American Revolution required soldiers on the battlefield, but it also demanded a massive financial gamble. Every time we use his name, we honor a man who proved that securing liberty demands risking everything you have.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us.